What's up, guys? Welcome to Alternate History Part 3. So, at the beginning of this video, I'm going to be explaining what happened in Alternate Future Part 2. But, my only problem is that, I lost the recording for Alternate Future Part 2. I was recording for like an hour, and I lost it all, so. Yeah, so we're back, and I'm going to be telling you guys what happened. So, as you remember in the last video, I actually don't really remember what happened in the last video. It was a while ago. But, what I do remember is some... Oh, okay, wait. So, I'm going to fix this quickly. Is this our... No, that is not our... Yeah, this is our guy. Okay, so, this guy ends up getting Northern Ireland back. So, a couple new... So, how I started this video is people decided to leave the British and go over to the Netherlands, not the Netherlands, Ireland, and that led to a country breaking out right here, right here, right here. But as you can remember in the last video, the pink country was here, and same with that grayish country. But they decided to leave the Romans alliance and go ahead and attack them, which, as you can tell, did not go well with them. But since those guys were French, they moved up, and they brought on the idea of fortresses. Obviously, it isn't that strong of a fortress, but also the first gun was technically created. It's in a metal ball. Like, it's a little metal ball, and you squeeze, like, the can that it's in, and it shoots out. It does more damage than... It's a far-range damage thing, so that's what they do. So the French migrated up to the Holy Roman Empire, and, yeah. You also have Prussia here. So, you also just have some random countries here. But this is Russia. Also, there's a plague, which is just starting, and it's around here in, like, Russia, like, in the northern part of Russia. Turkey, as you can tell, Turkey got demolished in a war against the Romans, and also the Russians, so they got squished. And also, part of the peace treaty is if the Russians want more land, they can just come in and take it, so that's fun. Also, you have, if we come over here, we have the Mongol Empire here, and we have Korea and Japan. The Koreas and Japan, pretty much. So, yeah. And Vietnam got some land. Well, our first country got some land. So, you guys gotta remember, by the time we're in 2024, these borders will not look anything like they do in present day. So, yeah. Okay, so we're gonna start this episode off with a little bit of a border change, because I actually don't really like this border up here. Wait, no, I messed up. That's supposed to be the other cut. I don't know how I messed that up so bad. So Prussia is gonna get pushed back a little bit. So there, that's what it looks like. But the Red Alliance, well, the Romans, they get a little bit of land from right here. Because honestly, I don't really like this border, so I'm gonna change that up a little bit, and then like that. Okay. So you finally have people up here decide, like, the people in the British, they're like, okay, you know what? Why not? Let's let them go down. So they go ahead and... Is this their color, right? Yeah, it is. So well, not he, but the British, they send down troops to take this land. But The Romans don't really like that. They're not obvious because, well, they don't want to be cut off, but I don't see how they can be cut off. But there is like a tribe right here, like indigenous group that isn't anything. Like it's not a civilization. They the Romans, they were trading with them. They would go through and trade. So they kind of just cut those guys off from there. But a peace treaty is kind of drawn up between the British and the Romans. It goes down through here. But right now it looks like that because, well, like this. Because they don't know that anything below this line exists. Like, they don't know that this exists. So, yeah. Then you have... so yeah. They send their troops down. It goes like this. Obviously, there's some little, like, dents in the border. But, oh well. But, see, the British people down here, they're like, honestly, I don't really want to be a part of this, the British, anymore, because I don't think we really want to go all the way back. And the Romans are right there, so we could either join the Romans, or we could make our own civilization. So, this is going to be quite a big breakaway. This is going to be our biggest breakaway yet. Actually, I'm pretty sure this might be our first. But we're going to take purple, and... because, you know, it's pretty much blue. And, actually, wait, I don't need to follow that border. Okay, hold up, wait 1 second. Okay, so it goes like that. And then it follows down there. So the British are cut off from all of their land, and they need a capital, so let's just give them a capital. Their capital is going to be right there. So, you have, the purple, deciding to, they're like, okay, well, the British, they can't go all the way around, and then ing, so, let's just go through, let's just invade here. But what they didn't expect is for the British to say, Romans, go in there. Take that. And that's what happens, and they just end up yoinking this land. But they weren't able to send out too many troops because the Romans, they are struggling with the Turks over there because they are having a lot of people just attacking the Turks. And, well, not attacking, but people in the Turkey area are attacking them. And they actually decide to keep their capital there. But something that exciting happens is we have some civilizations starting up in here. No, I'm just kidding. This civilization doesn't happen. Yep, you heard that right. It's starting off in Canada. Yep. So Canada's probably going to be the stronger country in North America because they are going to be around for longer. If this is actually going to be them. Do we have a color like this yet? I do not. Yes, we have those. So we'll use, that's an alliance color. We'll just use this blue. These guys are not going to start off too big. But there's like nobody over here. They just thought that these guys are like, that they created this. They don't know that this actually exists or any other land exists. Because they're still probably going to have the colonizations. But Canada's just, the Canada area is just going to be different. Same with the United States. Because, well, they're like, okay, well, it's cold up here. So it's cold up here. So why don't we just go down? And the government is like, hey, that's not that bad of an idea. But first, they do end up taking the rest of that, because just to make my eyes better. Okay, this is hurting my eyes, because it looks like that's water. So I'm just going to make it a bluey gray. Yeah, that color. So, these guys, their main goal is just to follow around the water. And that's how they're going to expand quite fast. So, they're going to go around, down. And that's where it ends, right there. Oh, my bad. And right there. Obviously, and then after they're done surrounding the water, because they now know where the land is and there isn't, yeah. But they think that most of this is just like they now know that all of this is water. So yeah. And people, well, they're getting kind of restless over here in Europe. So people are moving down. They're migrating that way, which leads to a new country. We're gonna use pink for this country, but you have these guys coming down into here, and then like that. So these guys obviously know about all the new stuff and everything. So, but here's something new that's gonna happen. This is gonna be one of the largest battles in this history. It's a battle right here. So there's a tribe of people that live here, but the pink want to expand that way. So, they decided to declare war on the tribe. The pink has more people, but the tribe, well, they just know how to fight better. Because this pink, they're kind of not so great at fighting, as you are going to learn later on in the series. But yeah, so it looks like this, and then you have the pink being pushed out violently all the way out to, well, the top ends up getting cut off from their supplies, which leads them to surrender, and then you have that area getting cut off, but they still are able to stand up because, yes, there's supplies there, so they're closer here. Okay, wait, I cannot see that. So what's going on is the pink's going up, and they're also going there. So the pink is, that's the only reason why pink's still in these two areas, because obviously this area is going to be stronger because they're closer. So pink goes ahead and fights back. I'm just going to mark down their capital. Their capital is up there. So, yeah. And that's what the pink is going for. Because, well, if they get the capital, then they win. Well, that's what they believe. But see, the indigenous group, they don't really care because they saved their elder. They got their elder out of there, and they decided to push back in, and they ended up kicking these guys out and kicking them out fully. But now you have our new country, because each tribe that is discovered, I'll just color them in gray. So yeah, their tribe has expanded now, because it used to only be like this, but yeah, now it's like that. So the tribe follows the people back to their hometown. Well, like, falls back. Okay, wait, I totally forgot to give these guys a capital. We know the First Nations capital's right there. Their capital is going to be down here, right there. So yeah, the pink decides, okay, maybe we shouldn't go that way. Maybe we should go somewhere else. So they decide to push in up here, because they're planning on going around and then attacking it like that, but that's not going so fast because, well, let's be honest, the pink, they can explore, they can claim, but they cannot fight. Even nature knows that they cannot fight. But the First Nation tribe also decides to expand a little bit out and push out to their capital, because before the war started, these two were kind of trading. But see, there's a lot of valuable land in this area. So both pink and this, I don't know what to call it, tan color or whatever, is very valuable. So the pink gets most of it because obviously they're closer. We finally have the two civilizations meeting up, because yes, the tribe is a civilization now. So with that, you have some people getting over here, but see, the First Nations, they don't know about the disease that these guys have, and they won't learn, because these people, the First Nations, they drink medicine. They drink these leaves, these crushed up leaves in water, that is actually, that pretty much stops them from getting the infection. And the First Nations, they use sign language to follow down the border and then attack their capital. And you want to know something? This entire country just fell over to them. So, yeah, you now have our country down there. And you are now going to have our second country that spawns in this area, which is Egypt, pretty much. Egypt, somewhat, but not really, you know. Okay, let's see if this also looks like the ocean. Okay, no, that does not look like the ocean. So if we just follow it like this, and then it goes down like that, and then it just follows around like this. Oh, what? Oh, I messed that up so bad. I forgot to fill in this. There, so it looks like that. There. So, with this new country, country. We'll just start calling them countries at this point, because it's, I know it's a civilization, but it's just easier to call it a country. They do push down a little bit more into here. But yeah, that's about it. Yeah, so they go ahead and decide to push right, like they decide to put their capital right there. But you have the infection happening. Like the plague, it's starting to reach over here in these small countries, but don't think that's stopping this country. Yeah, they're still. What is happening? Sorry, guys, but that I don't even know what happened. Yeah. So you have. Okay, one second. Let me just get this color. So that doesn't really stop this country from expanding. Sorry if this video has felt slow, guys. But yeah. But this is now going to cause a war in between the red and the... Well, guess what? It's another war. It's a big one, since we haven't had a big war. But we'll just ignore the plague for now, because, well, yeah. These guys are owning an alliance with, the Holy Romans and Russia, but since the Romans, they don't like how they just went into this land. They're like, well, it's ours. They're like, no, it isn't. You weren't here. They said, well, we were. We just had to leave for a little bit. Also, the Romans are dealing with this down here, and same with the British. The British have gained back some land, but not too much. At least it's a little bit. But, yeah. So, with that, you have the red team also gaining a little bit from this. But see, this is where it's all gonna go downhill. So, you know how the British never had this land, right? Well, they're not gonna have it in a little bit. Because you have a new alliance. Because, honestly, they were a little bit closer to Russia than the Romans. Because the Romans, they were just not being the best people. So the Romans decided to say, join my side, or else I'll invade you. So they decided to go ahead and just be like, okay, well, I'm done with this. So they just kind of like just said, okay, you can join us. We'll give you like you can have your own province and everything. We'll just stay under our command. That'll be like, fine. Because they need as much frontline on these guys as possible. So now we're having like a Cold War type situation where Turkey's split into two. And I'm gonna color it like that. So you're gonna have Russia getting that side. Obviously, this is the more populated side because their capital and everything. But that doesn't mean that this side is not populated. You have Turkey not even in here anymore at this point. But this is where Turkey's gonna get their mainland back because they say, hey, we'll give you back. We'll help you grow if you join our side. So they kind of did, and because Russia started to invade them, like they just said, okay, well, this is our land now, and well, Turkey didn't really like that, so they decided to push out here. They went down and then out and then around because Turkey was one of the strongest countries until this massive invasion happened. I also forgot to color away this. But, yeah, wait, 1 second. We need this color, and then, yeah. Okay. There, the heart is disappearing. There, the heart is gone. And, yeah. So, the Romans push, through, here. While the Turks push through there. And you have the Turkey doing pretty well with the Ottomans, because they're technically Ottomans right now. Not really the Turks yet. But see, this is where the Turks go berserk. Because they start to invade, and they see their people, and they're being treated very poorly up here in this area. And that's where they go berserk, because they're like, and they go like Super Saiyan or something, bruh. And they just destroy that, and it is not so fun for, it is not so fun for the Russians, because the Russians are being demolished right now, and their people, they aren't that strong either. They aren't so glad about what the Russians are doing. But you have quite a big push right here coming from the Romans. But the Romans decided to make this move. Be like, hey, so I'm just going to push in between you two. Then that'll work, okay, guys? And it does actually work really well, somehow. Because the Romans, they are going to get to their full extent very soon. Because if you see the Romans, they are expanding rapidly, which might not be good for the Russians. But you gotta remember, they have boats. Because civilization is moving a lot faster than it did in real life. Because guns are starting to become more powerful and more used than swords. Okay, wait 1 second. So you have the Turks taking this and then following down the shoreline. They just go down the shoreline until there. And they are getting, the Russians are being bombarded with Romans and also being bombarded with Turkish troops. But you know how that whole thing was going on? Well, the Holy Roman Empire, they're doing quite well on the Roman side, but we don't really talk. We don't want to. They don't want us to talk about the Prussian side, because I'm going to show you what that looks like in a second. Prussia is taking this and just demolishing all of that. And gotta remember, they are quite close to the capital of the Holy Romans. But you gotta remember, they can't get through the fortress. Till they did, and then they took the capital. And their fortress falls, and this is the first country to fall. But it's not actually technically dead yet. It's still there. It's just under, like, the whole country's just shattering. But they are like, okay, we're gonna focus all of our resources on this front line. Just hold the front line behind you guys also. So when the Prussians get here, turn around and fire at them too. And then they'll retreat, and then we'll follow them. And by the time that happens, we'll meet up with the British, and that's their plan. Which is not the smartest plan, I'm gonna say now. It is not the smartest. But it worked for some reason. Well, somewhat. They do almost meet up with the British, but the British, they're like, huh? Oh, you want us to meet up? Okay, so they go ahead and do this. Obviously, population is already in the million. It's at 1 million. So armies are getting quite big, and deaths are also getting quite big. So you have a new technique from the British being used. They call it the spearhead. But not a lot of resources are being focused on this front line. Most of their resources are being focused up here. Obviously, Northern Ireland falls quickly. But something that doesn't fall quickly is the country itself. They actually decide to push in. They just are like, okay, well, we're just going to push in here. Because, we feel like it. But here's the bad thing. See, the British, they have the strongest navy. And they like to use that navy. As they're going to learn right now. Because, well, they like their navy. Their navy looks like... Well, their navy takes this and pushes into the capital. So you're gonna have this fall of Scotland probably, because this is honestly Scotland, let's be fully serious. So the upper half falls, but right now, their goal is just to push in and take as much, because they know that they already knew that they weren't gonna win this. So yeah, they just decided to keep on pushing. Whoa, oopsie, my bad. So they end up taking these islands, and yeah. It also comes down right there, and goes out, and yeah. So the green is now kind of pushing, But the Romans, they finally like, oh wait, we need to focus on this front line too. So the Romans get here and do what they do best and annihilate. And like I said, they weren't going to have this for long. Yep. The Romans, they are getting to their full extent very fast. So, you have the Romans fully taking out all their troops and coming back here, and they're just taking people with them. Because at this point, the green team and the red team just knows that they're just pretty much slowing them down at this point. Obviously, there is bombardments happening from the British everywhere onto the Romans, but it's not the best. Also, boats are becoming more advanced. The first cannon is now made just now, and it is in, guess what? It is in Roman, it's in Rome. No, not, yeah, it's in Rome. Yeah, so it's in Rome, and they just, the cannon area is down here, because they don't know if it was going to work. Well, here's what the cannon did to the collapsing army already. Yeah, that was one of the fastest invasions ever. And honestly, Prussia is told to just take the rest of the land, because they don't really need it. Well, obviously, they're going to take some land, but not too much. So they take this, and yeah, like that. What happened here? Okay, I don't know why there's just yellow dots, but okay. And now Prussia gets the rest, but as you can see, why are there yellow dots here? So as you can see, Prussia has most of like World War I Germany's land. Most, not all, most. Because, well, they still have a whole Napoleon War. Yes, the Romans will collapse. I already have that planned out. That's going to be happening soon. I'm not going to give any spoilers, guys. But the spoiler is, if you guys don't want to hear the spoiler, skip 10 seconds. Okay, from now. But the spoiler is next episode. The Romans are going to collapse next episode. I'm kidding. They're going to collapse 2 episodes from now. Depends if they're in a war or not. I don't know. Because actually, none of this is scripted. So, yeah. The Prussians, they decide that, you know what, maybe it's best to push out this way to Russia. So Germany's gonna be looking very different and very strong. You can tell which countries are gonna be stronger and weaker from which ones are around by right now. For example, the Romans, well, Italy, they're obviously going to be strong, because if they do collapse, then obviously these guys will go away, and these guys will go away, so they're still going to be stronger and bigger than they are today. Because honestly, civilization is moving so much faster that the first gun is finally invented. Yep. You heard that right. Guns are invented in 10 BC. 10 BC. Yeah. So the British, they decide to leave this war, and they're like, you know what, I'm out. Peace. Also, they decide to move their capital, because, well, before they're out. Okay, they're not out of the war yet, but, see, they are being bombarded by boats themselves, but finally the Romans are able to take some land. And, yeah. So they, oh my gosh. So they take all of this, and this, and this, and that, until they capture the capital. And yes, they sign the peace treaty, and the peace treaty looks like this. It doesn't actually look like this, but like, just give me a second, I just need to draw that up. Blah, 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 drawing it. See, I'm drawing it, guys. They get that land. In the peace treaty, they did end up getting this land back, but at the cost of that the Romans get to burn down that whole city, their whole capital. So like, where are we supposed to live now? They say, no, why not there? Yep, you heard that right. They're in London. I might not be totally correct about that, but they're in London. Okay, but you see, the British, instead of deciding to go out and explore that way, which they meant to, or that way, which they meant to, they went up. They went to Iceland. They realized that it started to get cold. They're like, huh, why is it getting cold? Oh well. And, well, these guys are not going to be having too much fun. Well, they are obviously going to be having fun. But see, the British, they're going to be in North America by the time before, well, they are almost in North America. Because I see, like, a little bit of land up here. They're like, it's already cold down here. It's going to be way too cold up there. We're going to die of freezing. So they decided to take their boats and sail back down to the British. Like, go back down to Britain. But once again, they did not go to Britain. Why can't the British just go where they need to? Like, why can't they just go down? Nope, they can't go down. They have to go... Well, so they sent off 2 fleets of boats. One down there, because obviously there was people up there just to settle, because they found new land. And some more boats down here. Yep, they're in North America, guys. They're in North America. Those boats aren't in Africa yet. But, you do have a country breaking away from the Romans. And guess who's back? Back again. Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Okay, we're gonna take red and make it pretty much just black. Nope, that's just black. Very dark red. It's value 14, so it is quite dark. So, yeah. So you have, the French. Yeah, they're French. I'm just gonna say now. They're the French. They decide to take this, and then they go down like that. Because these are mostly just British soldiers. Not British soldiers. British soldiers and, Roman soldiers that don't really want to be a part of Rome or British anymore. Because they're done with all the wars. They want peace and everything. So, they decide to break away and take that land also. So yeah, they decide to take that, and they decide to, since they also have some very powerful boats, they have the Romans and the British boats, they decide to take their newfound power and go down to, there, yep. They started a colony. So with their newfound power, the second colony is made by the French. So yep, you have the colony race finally starting to happen. But you finally have the Romans getting enough people to go ahead and explore down here. Because honestly, they don't care about the French at this point, bruh. They're just like, womp, womp. That's their honest reaction. But see, the Romans, they are reaching their full power at this point. They even decided to just push through these guys and take that. They're just like, okay, well, hi, this is our land now. They're like, what? No. They're like, well, we have the strongest military in the world. You really want to fight us? They're like, okay, you can have it. So guess what, guys? The Romans are almost at their full extent. But don't worry, guys. They are about to be at their full extent. They get this island, and then they go ahead and go over to here and demolish the French. Whoa, the British! Whoa, they're at their full extent. Wait, what? They're getting invaded by Prussia. What? Why would Prussia ever do that? Maybe because the Rome government just got reelected and is making sending death threats to the government. What? That couldn't be it. Yep, that's it. Yeah, that's it. So, the Prussians take that land and they're in a war. And guess what? The Hard Alliance is back, baby. It's just with different people. So you have those guys. Yeah, that's about it. Yeah, so that's about it. But you do have the red team, getting to. Oh wait, this is the wrong one. Do you have the red team finally being able to capture this country? That's all they really wanted. Now they're almost at their full extent. They do expand a little bit. But the Romans are like, okay, I think we're good now. Psych, we're going to expand into these countries. They shoot up because obviously they're still in war with these countries. Yep. It's not going so well for these small countries. Because you mess with the tiger, get bit. They should have just let them get that land from the yellow. But back to the Russian, Roman, Turkey war now at this point, because that's about it. And Prussia and British, I guess. The British aren't a part of this war anymore. They're still out of it because they signed a peace treaty. But you have a peace treaty being signed. The Romans get this. And they do also get some land from Prussia because, well, they're in a war. But Turkey on the other hand, oh, they are angry with Russia. So they decide to push all the way out to here. And you know how Rome, well, not Rome, just said that they'll give them some old land back? Well, they did. See? They did. It's all nice, and so now you have the red and Turkey back together. And this goes over here. And then Turkey gets this. Also, you have them discovering that island. But there we go. This isn't going to do it for this episode, guys. I will not be seeing you guys in the next one because this is still the same episode. Don't worry. What happened to that heart? Okay, that's better. Okay. But see, we have a problem. The Mongols over here, they're not that big. Honestly, the Romans might be bigger than them. So let's fix that. I believe this might be our colors. I just want to double check, so I'm just going to do that. There we go. And, well, I just hope you guys know that by letting... If you guys don't want to see the Mongol Empire, I will just erase them off the face of the earth. I am not lying. They will just go poof, and they're gone. But at this point, people in Mongol are not too angry, but they're a little angry. So they decided to go ahead and start their own civilization. this is going to be China, guys. I'm just going to say that now. It's kind of going to be China. And there we go. Do we finally have a big Mongol? We have a big Mongol. And they have split. Well, look, they have split this area. The Mongol Empire is growing fast. They are now the biggest and strongest country. And everyone's scared of them. So that's why India's here, guys. Yep, India. Or something like it. Because, well, it's Pakistan and India. But, yeah. They just span down all the way out to here. And then they go up like this. So yeah, as you guys can tell, I have changed the entire course of history. World War I might not even happen. World War II might not even happen. It might because Prussia's still there. And, you know, the whole thing. But, there's, yeah. So, you can see how that can lead to some problems. But, still. Oh, sorry. They're still in the Hard Alliance. Our first country. Don't worry, guys. I will expand them. I know. So, these guys, they come down to here now. And there. And how I was talking about those guys, we're just going to use this color because they're pretty much the Qing Dynasty. And these countries are quite big because, well, that's what Asia knows. They pretty much just know to take land, get big, like that. I like this border more. So this is a mix of people, the Qing Dynasty. It's a mix of people. It's a whole bunch of tribes, and some Vietnamese, some Mongols. It's just a whole mix. It's some Chinese, it's some everything. Japanese, Korean, and everything. So, yeah, no Europeans, because, well, Europe barely knows that these countries exist. They're even lucky that they know that Vietnam exists. But yeah, so as you can tell, even Asia's starting to get filled up very little bit. And you know how I was talking about those boats that the British sent over? Well, they just reached North America. Yep. Guess who's in North America? And you want to know where they are? They are in New York and the U.S. Capitol. So you guys can actually make your own timeline. Honestly, I don't really know what time it is. Like, I know what time it is in real life, but like, what year it is. You guys can like be like, okay, well, it's like the 1900s, and civilization's just moving a lot slower, or it's like 1 BC and civilization's like zooming. Either one works for me. I don't really care, guys. You guys can choose what time it is in this world. But yeah. So, you have the Canadian country, I guess you could say, because it is more Canadian for now. They go ahead and decide to finish off what they started and just live through the cold because they're Canadians, you know. But as you can see, these guys just, well, the Canadians, they want to be big, strong, and just big, mostly. And that's what they're doing, because as you can see, they have a lot of land, and it looks like this. And then we'll go right there, and there. See, you also have them now starting to realize that, they're starting to meet up with the British. I totally forgot to give them a capital. I totally forgot to give so many people capitals. Let me go back and do that. So, their capital is down here, right there. Their new capital is right there. No new countries, no new countries. Where is my mouse? I cannot tell. Okay, there. And then, oh, wait. Okay, they have a capital. I'm going to use orange for their capital because, actually, no, we'll use black for their capital because I actually don't, because yellow will blend in way too well with this. We'll just put that right there. And their capital is up here. Oh, that is wrong. Their capital is up there. And their new capital is down there. So yeah, you have a lot of civilization moving quite fast. You also have the British in North America already. So boats are already like expanding quite fast, and it's just going great for the British because, well, the French aren't here. But you finally have them realizing if we just go straight, what happens? And then once again they get lost, so they kind of go up, and then they come back down, and then go up. So they're exploring, and then they go ahead and they do the same thing, and they explore the inside of it. So, ta-da! You have one of our largest countries. And if you're wondering how people got over here, it's, I don't know, honestly. At this point, people are just people. They're just fine. They just found a way. But at this point, the British could destroy the Canadian country, but they aren't going to because these two are actually pretty good allies. And they tell them about boats, they tell them about guns, they trade with guns, they trade everything. You wanna know something? The British, they help the Canadians. So I'm just gonna tell you now, North America is gonna be being explored fast by the British and the Canadians. So you have all of this land going over to the British right off the bat, because obviously the British are pumping people here that they know that people are here also, which means it's livable, and everybody now knows about this. So, no, the Romans were being peaceful for a little bit. They're like, hey, stop expanding. That's not fair. We can't reach there. They're like, well, maybe we should get here. Oh, whoa. How did that happen? Okay. So, the Canadians, they reach all of that, and then they also expand down to here. But see, the Romans also, now that there's a trade route. Okay, let's update the trade route, guys, because I totally forgot to update this. So yes, this trade route is mostly the same. Let's just update it somewhat. Oh, wait, oopsie, I did not mean to do that. Okay, so the trade route comes down, runs through here, comes all the way out to here, and then it's just one pretty much long line of trading, pretty much. And then you have these guys coming down, meeting up with there. These guys are coming up to the Mongols. And also these guys go up and go to the Mongols. not many people know about India, but Mongolia goes ahead and tells them about India because Mongolia is the fastest growing country and the biggest growing country. Well, not the biggest growing, they're the biggest. Which leads to something like that. And then you have that 3 going right here, and then meeting up with the capital, going down and meeting up with the Vietnamese capital. So the trade economy is also going up very fast. Also, these guys know about each other at this point. I'm just gonna say that now. Okay, and that's how Japan learns about North America. So, yeah, that's how Japan learns about North America. The trade route, they learn through that. And also, by this point, their whole island is explored. Let's be honest, guys. Their whole island is explored. Same with that island. Okay, so their whole island is explored. They also have the second strongest navy than Rome. So it goes British, Japan, then Rome. Which is pretty good. Honestly, they don't know if their boats can make it, but somehow they do. They reach these islands are like, is this what they were talking about? We're like, we know we're good at exploring these, but like, we're kind of done with islands. And then they use this newfound technology called a telescope, and they see a little bit of land over here. And yep, you have Japan in North America now. So as you can tell, this did not happen. If you go up to your history teacher and be like, so this YouTuber that I watch, he said that this happened. Is it true? He's gonna be like, how retarded are you? Obviously it is not true. I don't know how much clearer I can be, guys. Do not say this is true to anybody. This is not true. None of this happened. None of this will happen. Civilization will never restart. So it goes up like this. Also, okay, maybe not that far. Let me just redraw that. So honestly, at this point, the Canadians are just starting to learn to go down. But before they can run out of time, the Romans, yeah, they finally send boats over and they get there. And also, the boats that the British sent down, yeah, they just got there. They just got to Africa. So this is where the colony boom is starting. So Italy, they're going to have colonies, not in Africa. Oh no. They're going to have it in North America. Obviously, the most spoken language in North America is British, because these guys learned British, like English, not British, sorry, English. They learned how to speak English, so obviously they now know how to speak English, and it's just now a natural thing for them. And these two countries finally decide to meet up and like actually have a border on each other. Oh my gosh. Okay, there. That'll work. So there, that's what the border looks like between them. Japan, they're happy. The Romans, they just got there. Now they're happy. So instead of the French being racing with the British, you have the Romans racing with the British. And then they do not share a border with the British yet, because they don't really want to. And they do kind of have the same problems that the French have. It's cold. So they're gonna struggle more than the British, but at this point, they're one of the most populated countries. Honestly, they can just send a mass amount of people there and boost it up. But so the Navy is like the strength of Navy goes British, Japan, Rome, and then it goes and then the military goes Rome, Britain, and then Japan. No, Mongol, sorry. Not Japan, Mongol. And then Prussia. Wait, no, Rome, no, the Mongols, then Rome, then Prussia, then the British. But the British is, their army is booming right now. Okay, now that they have a settlement right here, they go ahead and have a port. That's what I'm going to use for color of a port. Let's go ahead and color in those ports. Japan is obviously going to have the most because, well, they're island. And they have a lot of them just everywhere. Like that, and that, and there. And if they don't have any ports, then they don't have a navy. And then that's where most of their ports are. And then you have the British, obviously gonna have some here, here, here. And here. Oh, sorry. And here. I don't know why that didn't click. And here. So that's what they have. Obviously, also, sorry. The Prussians also have a navy. So yeah, that's what it looks like. But that port is going to be very useful to the Romans because they are going to go ahead and come down here. So you know how Mexico speaks Spanish because they were under Spanish control? Well, that's going to be different because, well, they're under Japan and Romans control now. Sorry, my mom just left. But yeah, so yeah, you have Japan going ahead and just going down the coastal line, and there we go. So at this point, the world is looking much, much, much different. You have the British everywhere. You have Canadians. You have the Romans. You have just so much things happening. And yeah, this is almost the end of the episode. I just have a little bit more of drawing to do. You know what all that is? Well, if you really must know. Oh my gosh, that is way too big. There. So it looks like this and that. So, guess what? Oh, that voice crack. Sorry, guys. You have the not the Romans, the Mongols getting all the way to, Turkey, or the Ottomans. But this is going to be the end of the episode, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm going to be very sad if I have to re-record this. Yeah. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.